Hello and welcome to a special program, My School and Tech, where we juxtapose both happenings in academic institution called school against the skill set environment, where we'll be focusing on tech skills to be specific. My name is Olanite Abidemi Adesina, and I'll be leading you on this juxtapositional and comparison of the two endeavors. So today, I'm not the only one that will be discussing this buzzword, a Nigerian graduate employable or not. I have a co-host with me that also be sharing more light on specifics and the tendency and the benefits associated with the comparison. Please welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. My name is Iremufe Koforola, and you are watching My School and Tech. An interesting topic we are looking at today, and I'm really interested in this. And as you take the lead on this discussion, I'm quite sure many people would get to understand more and talk about what it truly means to be educated and what it means to have some skill sets.
Thank you very much. So today we will focus more on that discussion. Are Nigerian graduates employable or not? It's a very big question out there. That's a lot of discussion have been happening around that topic. How are we going to go about that? We'll look at who a Nigerian graduate happens to be. A Nigerian graduate is someone that has gone through the Nigerian academic system, from the preschool to the high school and to the tertiary level. And he or she has come out with the requirements, ranging from first class to 2-1, depending on the grade that he has achieved. Yeah. And he has been bestowed upon a certificate from the university or polytechnic or any other applicable higher institution, and most likely proceeded to serve and do the NYSC accordingly. So at the end of the day, the judgment will now be by the employer or the proposed employer to look at the candidate and say, what have you brought to this organization, or what will you bring to this organization? Are you just coming with academic skill sets, or are you bringing in other non-academic skill sets, e.g. tech skill set? And these are what we'll be looking at today on My School and Tech. So My School and Tech as a program is going to show the missing links that is so predominant that make people to believe Nigerian graduates are not employable. What are those things that a typical graduate should have known as he climbs the ladder of academic journey from preschool to high school to the university level, as I've suggested? What are those skill sets? We'll be discussing that and we'll benchmark them against each certificate he or she gets as he continues to move on. So some of those skill sets that we have, there are a lot of them, but to be super specific, we have data science, we have web tech and app technology, we have computer UI UX, we have digital marketing, which is into social media marketing now, we have Internet of Things, cloud computing, and cloud technology at large, we have AI workflow and automation, we have machine and deep learning, we have cyber security, we have virtual reality, and a host of them, including hardware and networking, plus media and digital technology. But these skill sets, can we say they are fully imbibed into the education curriculum? The answer will be no. Yes. Even though they are imbibed in the education curriculum in Nigeria, to what depth do students get to be taught some of these skill sets in school? The answer still remains, it is very shallow. Because from statistics, an average Nigerian graduate may get to the point of writing projects before he realizes he needs to know how to use some softwares to do some simulation.
Absolutely true.
I'm talking from experience.
Yeah.
When I was in a university, I never knew some of the software application until I had to start running around when I was close to my dissertation or to my thesis and to my project and all of that. And these are things that if you compare with other clients like US, UK, and some other developed countries, someone in the elementary school, which is equivalent to our own primary school here, they can do some of those things I'm running around to learn, to do, as at the university level. So what are the things that consumers that happen to be the students? Because if you look at it from a holistic perspective, the schools themselves, they are rendering services. So there stand to be brands here because there's a competition out there. A school that can render the best service will have the highest number of students. While the students, alongside with the sponsor and the parents, are the ones bringing in the money, paying the tuition, and they are entitled to get the best of service from this brand. So can we say that there's a consumer brand relationship? Yes, I would say we can say that because we have each entity assuming different position. Parent on one side with the student that they are expectant of to go to school and come out with both academic skill and tech skill or any other skill so that they can be marketable to employers. And on the other side, universities that are expected to deliver quality service so that they have enough students enrolling for their annual or their yearly academic session. So what can we do to synergize that gap and reduce that gap, and as a brand or as a school owner to market your school? These are the things we'll be discussing on this show, My School and Tech. The first thing is, as you move from class to class, the way you have curricula from primary to secondary to university, can we have a structured curricula whereby all these tech skills and career path I've mentioned earlier can be strategically imputed or added to the academic education and will be regularly updated based on the industrial requirement, so that if you move from primary school, by the time you are done with your primary school and are giving your primary living certificate, there should be a list of tech skills that you have acquired, consequence of spending 5 or 6 years in primary school.
That's so true.
That is one of those things that we'll be advising brand as school owners to look into, and we'll be guiding them accordingly on My School and Tech, or what are the specific skill sets that can be bucketed for a primary school goer as a student to juxtapose alongside with the primary 1 to primary 5 or basic 1 to basic 5 course curriculum. And there will be a balance of academic and tech skill requirements so that such child comes out with double-edged influence and deliver on value adding and go into the high school or the equivalent of secondary school we have here with a readiness, not just academic readiness, both academic and tech skill readiness for another ladder that is also going to be dual in such a way that as he's moving and is preparing for both junior WAEC, the senior WAEC, NECO, and all of you, he or she also has the ability to write professional exams. So that as he's writing the WAEC and getting certificate from WAEC, he's also getting different certificates for multinationals, from multinationals like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and all of that, that he can use to equip himself or herself for the future before even going to the university. These are the things we'll be sharing on My School and Tech as a program, so that brands such as school owners can reach out and follow those guidelines and make their service better and give better utility to their consumers out there, hence have more students enrolling and stand out from their competitors. Then finally, the university system is very massive, but tech is applicable across board. If you look at all the career paths we mentioned, you will agree with me that AI, web technology are already on our hand device, our handhelds. On a daily. We interact with some of these tools, and the way we interact, that's also how employer of labor look out for people that have those skill sets, because their business also interacts with it. So how can the university system have an immersive outline that also align very well with academic curriculum from year 1 to year 4 for a 4-year course, or from year 1 to year 5 for a 5-year course, in such a way that there will be a balance? So anybody graduating from the university will have those skill sets in their toolbox or in their skill box and be ready for the future and become very attractive to any employer. So we'll be looking at all of that, and we'll continue to communicate the procedure on My School and Tech as a program. Then the next thing I also want to discuss, as sweet as this thing sounds and as prospective and as promising as it may be, it comes with its challenges, and we'll discuss the way around those challenges on My School and Tech. What are the challenges? We all know that for you to acquire digital skill, you need the hardwares.
Yes, definitely.
The hardwares by default range from mobile phone to laptops to even internet. Not an hardware though, but
Part of the
a supportive way
needed.
for hardware, because you can have your hardware and you don't have access to the internet. And the internet itself comes from hardware, e.g. your modem, your phone, which you can share the hotspot and all of that. So how do we manage these challenges? First of all, can government come into that space so that they can subsidize the costs, consequence of the high exchange rate, for everybody to have access to these hardware? If you look at the global developed countries and all of that,
In other climes.
things are readily available.
Mm.
And you don't even need to cash out on huge thousands of dollars or naira to buy these hardware. You can just buy them and you pay in installments. And this payment will be spread over a number of years, or some of them, they give the tools to you at the point you are enrolling into a school, and over time, the parent or the sponsor just gradually pay. Some are even so flexible that it is when you graduate and you start working that you start paying. I know there's a scheme like a student loan that is ongoing. Can there be transparency and ease of access to this student loan in Nigeria so that these skill sets can be attainable? Because some of the challenge from this university, even coming from my own experience, was where is the fund? I remember in my university days, some of these hardwares, we the student need to even contribute to even repair the ones that we have. Some that does not need to repair, we need to contribute sometimes to buy data to make them functional. So sometimes it's not even the fault of the branch, the schools, but the insufficient and the state of things in the country can be a challenge. Because while some parents are still struggling to complete paying the tuition, how do you not tell them to bring additional money because you want to give them tech skill? Obviously, they are going to default. So some of the way around, as I've mentioned, is subsidy. Another one is we are now in the era of digitalizing things. A lot of things can be done online. So if physically education has to be, you have to be in school, then the other part that is required, the tech skill, can also be online. You can have a system whereby a child is in school, they do the regular 8 in the morning to 2 p.m. class, then they close, and maybe by 3 p.m. there's an online class just for 30 minutes for digital skill set, whereby the physical requirement is eliminated and the cost of running it is become realizable. That's another option. Then the final option I also suggest is we can have recorded trainings. We can have tech skills whereby there can be a video that is made, is recorded, and is shared. You don't even need internet. All you need to buy is a flash. You copy the flash, or you have your phone, which is one of those things that everybody carry now, and you have it on your phone, and when you get to your parents' house, your sponsor's house, you go over that, and gradually the tech skill is being developed and all of that. So may I know if there are other questions that you want me to still shed more light to with respect to the challenges that I've mentioned and the solution that I've proposed?
Yeah, it's a very insightful one there, and most times when it comes to the debate if Nigerian graduates or Nigerian youth, if they are employable or not, people, come with different schools of thought.
Yeah.
Some believe that yes, with everything you've experienced in school, you should be employable. But we've come to the age whereby with technology now, everything has really evolved. It has evolved. And if you do not have the soft skills that are necessary, like you have mentioned so many earlier, if you do not have any of these skills, there are chances that you might not get the job. I've experienced it personally. I've experienced it, and I used to be so lazy, personally, with learning all these skills, and I realized that no matter what, gone are the days whereby everything was traditional.
Yes.
Now it is
Digital.
digital, and if you do not fit in,
Yes.
you will just be swept away, and at the end of the day you have yourself to be blamed. So that is why I think everybody should watch this program, because there are lots of recommendations that come with, okay, now we are talking about the fact that we know that there are so many soft skills that Nigerian graduates, even undergraduates, while staying in school, they need to learn They need to
Sure.
develop. They need to sharpen their skills.
Yes.
We are talking about it, but some are so confused because sometimes, yeah, it's not as if they do not want to learn, but they don't even know
What to do?
what to do.
Where to start?
Yes, they want to figure out, okay, how do I go about it? Who do I speak to? What platform can really provide that opportunity for me to learn? So all of these things, it's something that they're very valid. And at the end of the day, when you get a mentor, sometimes that can put you through, that can advise you. Sometimes people decide based on what their friends do, and that could be wrong.
Yes.
Because your friend is learning video editing and feel like, oh,
You want to learn video
yes, I
editing
want to
too?
learn. That might be, in as much as we clamor for the fact that we need skill sets, but you still have to go with something that you know that is your strength, is your area of interest as well.
Yes.
Because if you do it because your friend is doing it or your parents want you to do this particular one, at the end of the day, if you do not have interest in it, you might
You
not
end up
function
not
well.
getting value.
Exactly.
And all of that.
So, but the most important thing is it is a word of skill. It's a digitalized world. You just have to get to
Adapt and learn. Thank you
adapt and
very
learn all
much.
these things. But on this point, we have to go on a quick break. We will be right back. Welcome back. In case you are just joining us, you are watching My School and Tech, and this is a show you shouldn't miss. And I'm discussing around the fact that Nigerian graduates, are they truly employable or not? I mean, different schools on that, different schools of thought on that. But you know one thing, if you have not subscribed on this channel, please do so, and you can have the opportunity to watch a lot of content, including My School and Tech that you are watching right now. We are on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube as Consumer Allah TV. So now let's move to the recommendations, because you've highlighted all of these problems and people would like, okay, what's the point whereby you highlight all these problems and you're not giving us the solutions? Yes, we mentioned that we need to ensure that, yes, we begin to teach children even from the formative years all of these tech skills and all that. But what are the possible recommendations to brands, and this includes schools specifically, and also to consumers, which include the parents and the students themselves?
Thank you very much. So I'll go about that, talking on how schools that happen to be the brand can render their service and balancing between academic service they are rendering, which they sign a contract with the parents, and enhancing with the digital skills such as the tech skill we are talking about. First of all, we should know that these tech skills generally are broadly classified into scripting skills. These are the ones that involve coding, and not scripting skills that involve non-coding. That is at the surface. It's not every school that has a capacity to be able to render tech skills that are coding driven. Because it's expensive, requiring employing teachers that know how to write codes and all of that. So as a brand owner, if you know you don't have capacity to employ a developer to come and be teaching, you can explore other options of non-developers, which there's a very big market for people that have such ability. They can come to your school number of days in a week, just the way any other teacher comes to teach music and any other one. They just come there and teach you some non-coding application usage, which is also very much in demand out there. And it's going to make the student stand out at the end of the academic race. That's on one side. Then another one is, if you explore the coding one too, you should be able to understand that you need some infrastructures, and these infrastructures are relatively expensive. So instead of you waiting to have money to buy these hardwares, there are some ways you can use some cloud-based services, whereby you have one computer and you can subscribe to have access to more powerful computer on the internet. Let me give an example. I have some lightweight computer that cannot do some stuff, but anytime I want to do those things, all I do is I subscribe to some cloud-based infrastructure, so that all I just need to do is sign in and pay some token, and I will have access to some remote powerful computers, and things are done for me. That one being said. The another one, which is the most important one, is in as much as you have so many tech skills, as a brand or as a school owner, you should understand that you cannot form a skill curriculum with the entire tech skill set. First of all, look at what the market demands. How do you know what the market demands? Check out vacancies and check out the sections that they always emphasize that the applicants must have. A good example, a typical application requirement looks like this. The graduates must not be more than a certain number of years, must have a minimum of 2-1 or first class, and in below must have the ability to use Python, must be able to use SQL, must be able to use CorelDRAW and all of that. Capture those ones and start building your curriculum around that. Because in as much as you can see that these parts are kind of frequent, these are the things that they want out there. If you can make the person graduate from university with a 2-1 or the first class, then make the person have specific skill sets that are also enumerated with the 2-1 and the first class and the age requirement that is very predominant in vacancies and publication. You don't need to go to any newsstand. Just put it on Google and check jobs, tech jobs around or non-tech jobs like that. All these things are relevantly and readily available. And all you need to do is just keep collecting them and use it to continue to reshape your curriculum and align it with your education requirement. If all these things are put together, I'm sure that the value that brands and school owners will deliver to the students, parents and sponsors that are looking for the hard-earned money to invest in the brands and the school in form of tuition will be justified. And if any brand as a school owner adopts this recommendation, they're going to stand out from the competitors because their students that they'll be rolling out will not just graduate with 2-1 first class as we all celebrate, or all A1 in WAEC or all A1 in ECO. They will be marketable. So when there's a publication that say the minimum requirement is 2-1 and 2,000 people show up, you are showing up with your 2-1. I also showing up with something that will stand you out because you are coming with 2-1 or a first class or 2-2 or whatever the grade may be that is required, and every other thing that other people are not bringing to the table. So at this point, I would say it's very easy, but once the will is there, all you need to do is follow this guideline and stay tuned to my school and tech. We'll continue to share more details on how the synergy between brand and consumer that happen to be the school owner and the student will continue to foster very well so that we can get that relationship. And the assumption that Nigerian graduates are not employable, they don't do well, but by the time they travel overseas, you see another thing. A Nigerian graduate that cannot do very well here, get to Europe and be the best, because there is a practice we are recommending on this My School and Tech program that is already in existence there, from the grassroots education level to the postgraduate education level. So if you follow this recommendation, I'm sure that you will always stand out with your brand as a school owner, and will continue to give and guide you on subsequent episode of this program.
Interesting one. I mean, you've given so many schools or brands that arc they need to ensure that yes, their students do not just come out as high-flying students, but they have the soft skill that can make them become marketable. Because in the final scheme of things, there is nobody that doesn't want to get the job, because it is when you get the job that you have the bag, you have the money.
I get a return of investment, all the tuition paid. In fact, let me quickly interject. If you look at it, this is a question we should ask ourselves. As I've said earlier, 4 or 2 years in preschool plus 5 years in elementary school, which is primary school, that's like 7 years altogether minimum, plus 6 years in the 3 secondary school education student, that is the junior school and the senior school. If you add that 7 plus 6, that's 13. Then 13 plus 4 years in the university for a 4-year course, or 5 years.
Including ASU strike.
Including ASU strike. And other strike that are not even ASU. So internal strike, just wake up today, everybody go home, you get back to you and all of that.
Academic staff
no, like all sort of ASU, ASU, ISU, all of that. So if you add all of that, minimum 20 years and beyond has been invested. Can we say that it is justified to say, how many certificates are we getting? You get one for primary living, you get for secondary, that is in form of, let's say, junior WAEC. They even give you any statement or result and all of that from the junior WAEC written. Then we get one again as the school certification WAEC and itself. And you get one as, okay, I'm done, I'm not a graduate and all of that. can we say investing those years, that's all you can get?
Hmm.
Can we now zero it down that is that the point that they refer to Nigerian graduates as not employable? Because as an employer, when I say Nigerian graduates come to my office, come and work, and I say, what do you have? All you just bring is 4 pieces of paper, primary school leaving certificate, secondary school leaving certificate, junior and senior, and BSc first class.
Then
and I look at you that and I look at you that, oh, am I meant to collect the certificate, frame it and hang it on the wall, and that's what I'm going to pay you for? I will ask you the question that, okay, what should I pay you 500,000 naira for? Give me a reason why I should count my 1 million naira at the end of every 30-day cycle and give it to you and say, yes, you are a staff of my company. Obviously, I'm not going to give you that 1 million naira because you are giving me some 4 pieces of certificate. You must solve a problem in my organization. And to solve that problem is not the certificate that will solve it, is the skill set that the school has imbibed in you that you bring to the table to solve that problem. So, on my School and Tech, we'll continue to churn out what you need to add to those pile of those certificates so that you can be relevant and be employable. Thank you very much.
Interesting one. I just want to say this quickly. That does not mean the fact that education is a scam, because some people misinterpret
it's a requirement. It's a minimum requirement.
Yes, they'll then say, it's just to have the skill. No, you need to go through the 4 words of the
both
education.
of them work hand
in hand.
Yes.
So that is just it. So the question, are Nigerian youths employable? The question is not just all about you going to school, you going through the 4 walls of the school. At the end of the day, you just have to have the skill set, because normal education is meant to transform you. Education
Definitely.
is you having the soft skills, is you having emotional intelligence. That's also part of a skill you can have, the ability to relate with other people as well. So your closing remark before we end the show today.
Yes, I will leverage on what you said earlier. Education is not a scam.
Yes.
Okay. What is a scam is incomplete education. When the education is one-sided, it becomes a scam. Because a lot has changed. We have moved from the industrial age to the information age.
Exactly.
And in the information age, what they pay you for is the information that is associated with the skill set you can demonstrate, not the paper that you are bringing as an evidence that you are educated. In fact, the time being educated now means you can do beyond what the certificate says you can do. So on that note, follow us on all our social handles, listen to My School and Tech, join us on another episode, and we'll continue to work step by step, baby steps, on what are those things that will make you to clear the assumption that Nigerian graduates are not employable.
Thank you very much. Interesting one out there. And please do not forget to subscribe and get notified anytime we have any content for you. And you can follow us across all social media platforms at Consumer Alert TV. I am Iremofe Kufuro, and thank you for watching today.
Thank you very much.